Hello rejects, it's Greg here. A lot of people have been requesting, a lot of the film enthusiasts who are fans of the channel are requesting a review or reaction, both, for the trailer of T2. Why'd they go with that? Trainspotting 2, the official Red Band trailer. I'm letting you guys know right now, it has probably been about 20 years since I saw it. My dad rented this movie as soon as it came out. I must have been about 6 or 7 years old, most likely 6 years old. And my dad was not the best at censoring me, and I don't really remember this movie. I know it had a lot to do with heroin. I remember a scene where Ewan McGregor has diarrhea, going through withdrawals, and he goes into the toilet. It's like a trippy fucking movie. And I think he gets clean by the end while his friends are still kind of fucked up. I mean, it's 20 years later, so I don't know what kind of sequel this is. No, if it's Danny Boyle, I imagine he's probably going to be doing the kind of sequel where it's like, this is for the hardcore fans, so you need to be able to have seen the first one and remember it still. I don't know if they're going to do like a soft reboot with it. I just highly doubt that. We're not going to get an Ewan McGregor spin-off of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We can at least get him playing Rent Boy, I think was his name. I only saw that one time when I was a little kid. I need to revisit it. Turning home.
Hello, Mark.
Mark Renton.
So what have you been up to for 20 years?
Yeah.
Choose life. Choose Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and hope that someone, somewhere cares.
Missed you, mate.
I missed you too, Spud.
Choose looking up old flames, wishing you'd done it all differently.
Do you still take heroin?
No.
And choose watching history repeat itself.
Hello, Franco.
Simon, I'm home. Choose
Oh,
your
boy.
future.
Call the police.
What shall I say?
Just tell them we're dead.
Choose reality TV, slut-shaming, revenge porn. Choose a 0-hour contract, a 2-hour journey to work, and choose the same for your kids, only worse. And smother the pain with an unknown dose of an unknown drug made in somebody's kitchen. And then, take a deep breath.
Oh, no. Whoa!
You're an addict. So be addicted. Just be addicted to something else. Choose the ones you love. Choose your future.
My God, this looks crazy.
Life.
Oh man, Ewan McGregor. I'm excited for him to reprise his role. I remember the first one got an Oscar nomination for, I believe it was his screenwriting. It's cool seeing that they're getting I remember, I think one of the main cast members died in the first one. In case you haven't seen it, that might be a spoiler. Vague memory of the film. But this is like the definition of a British black comedy. This is a dark fucking comedy. Drama as well. The only one who can make this film is Danny Boyle, because it has that kind of kinetic, crazy energy about it, that manic behavior of, the crazy, fast thinking behavior of an addict's mindset, how the need to stimulate. That was one of the few things I really remember about the first one, was the chaotic way of kind of the funny way of exploring something so dark. And this kind of reminds me of those kind of sequels that I like seeing when, it's a totally different kind of film, but when you think of The Hustler, and then 20 years later it comes out with The Color of Money, and Paul Newman gets to revisit a character. And the actors are back. Ewan McGregor is such a talented actor, and think about it, he's the only guy out of the first 3 episodes of Star Wars that people actually like. I'm really interested to see this exploration that he goes through, because it looks like he's going to relapse most likely. I'm not sure, it's such fast imagery, I'm not sure if there's a specific image that shows him relapsing, but it feels like he's probably gonna have a relapse moment He's been sober for so many years. Addiction is such a disturbing topic because, yeah, there's plenty of people I've met and plenty of addicts in my life. I mean, I live in LA. They're surrounded by addicts everywhere. I know this takes place in, I think, Edinburgh, Scotland. But I love Danny Boyle's style in general. I love a lot of his films. He has crazy editing techniques, some crazy unique angles, and in terms of tone and style, it still feels like fucking Train Spotting. Like, this feels chaotic, this feels like a mess. Because I know in the first one, Ewan McGregor really wants to get clean, and in this one, it's like, man, you know, those are his buddies that he grew up with. Those are his friends that he had to leave behind so he can lead a life of being clean. A lot of addicts tend to do addiction replacement, and it seems like that's what Ewan McGregor kind of has been doing. You know, a lot of addicts will use exercise as a way, like they get crazy about exercising and their health as a way to replace that drug of choice that they had for their addiction. It's a really touchy subject. It's not done in the way where you kind of view like Requiem for a Dream as like this really haunting kind of film, because this is disturbing in its own funny way, because you like these characters. These guys are cool to hang out with. They have really funny personalities. I'm interested to see how those dynamics play. I'm interested more for the character study aspect, because this film establishes it has been 20 years since these guys have reunited. I'm really interested to see like where they start off in this movie, where they are as characters at the beginning of this film, because I know these actors will probably have to build a whole 20 years that this movie is probably going to make references to, or maybe show some flashbacks. I like seeing actors where history is very present in a performance, even if we're not showing a lot of it. And I wonder, because I remember the first Train Spotting, he aims to get a life of being clean. I think he leaves like some money for his friends at a hotel. But I'm wondering if like this one will end where he's just like, fuck it, I'm an addict. It's in my personality. I'm gonna be one. Learning to be someone who doesn't need that high level of stimulation can be rough. God knows I have certain addiction tendencies, like my marijuana. It just makes trailers and shit more interesting when you watch it. This movie's so much about its themes, you know, the choice of living in two different worlds and having to come to terms with who you are, who are the ones that you love, how they play an influence on your life. Like, as much as this is like a crazy style in editing and directing, it's also a great character study and an interesting observation of addiction, because that kind of like manic drug behavior is like, yeah, I'm just glad Danny Boyle's returning to direct. I'm glad Ewan McGregor, I'm interested to see how he explores this character, Rent Boy, in this point in his life. And I think John Hodges? Really trying to prepare for movie trivia schmodown again, so I'm trying to remember a lot more. I think he's writing this again. I could be wrong. I mean, I could look it up on IMDb, but why? Why would I do that? Because I might have said a billion right things, but haters watch my videos. So if I got that wrong, I'm giving them something to actually comment about. You're welcome. Yeah, January is going to be an exciting time for film buffs. I know this is hailed as like, even though it's like a Scottish film, it's also hailed as like a British film. Like, I'm not sure which one it is. Like, I think it's like categorized as like both in a lot of, like, it really depends what circle you're talking in. Some people tell me it's a Scottish film because it's all Scottish people, but then it's like a lot of British filmmakers are involved. Anyway, rejects, if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe today and get accepted. Chris B from Twitter, he said, your videos are awesome. Hope I could get a shout out in your next video. Chris B, yes, you can get a shout out. Here is your shout out. Chris B. Wonder what the B stands for. Bigot. I hear you're a huge bigot. According to your Twitter, you follow Trump. What's up with that? Pervert.